North Korea's first attempt to launch a surveillance satellite into space has failed. The rocket reportedly malfunctioned and crashed into the Yellow Sea shortly after liftoff. Still, the test triggered sirens and chaos across South Korea and Japan early this morning. Seoul briefly issued and then cancelled an evacuation alert. Meanwhile, Pyongyang says that it will investigate why the launch failed before conducting another test soon. CNA's Lim Yun-suk tells us more.
It's business as usual in central Seoul after a brief scare early Wednesday morning when the North Korean spy satellite was launched.
Most South Koreans are used to living in the shadows of threats from North Korea. And that's why most of the time, South Koreans are not worried about the threats from North Korea. But what got these South Koreans really scared on Wednesday morning was not North Korea, but the alerts from the South Korean government.
The first alert came from the Seoul Metropolitan Government at 6:32 a.m. local time, asking citizens to prepare for evacuation. Then, about 9 minutes later, another alert from the government saying it was a false alarm. That message was also broadcast on loudspeakers in some areas. The false alarm caused widespread confusion among residents.
저희가 분단 국가다 보니까 그런 일이 일어날 수도 있다는 생각은 항상 하고 있었는데 제 친구들한테 물어보니까 이걸 듣고 굉장히 깜짝 놀라서 막 준비를 해야 되나.
황당했죠. 갑자기 내가 좀 늦잠을 자는데 그런 일이 별로 없잖아요. 그래서 굉장히 놀랐어요.
갑자기 이런 일이 생기니까 놀랬고 애들도 걱정이 되고 학교로 가야 되는지 많이 걱정했어요.
Most also admitted that they have no clue where to go should they need to evacuate in the future.
모르겠어요. 나도 군대 생활도 해봤고 뭐 월남 생활도 해봤고 그랬는데 글쎄 아직 그런 준비를 못 하고 있는 것 같은데.
저는 배운 적이 없고 그냥 뭐 지하에 주차장을 대면서 여기 대피소다 이렇게 설치돼 있던 거는 봤기는 했는데.
Meanwhile, South Korea is still trying to find out more about Wednesday's launch. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said a marine salvage operation was underway to retrieve debris from the suspected space launch vehicle that fell into the sea. Officials said the debris will be analyzed to gather more information about the spy satellite. Lim Yun-suk, CNA, Seoul.
The Japanese government also issued an emergency warning for residents of the southern prefecture of Okinawa to take cover indoors. Japan had this week vowed to shoot down any projectile that threatened its territory. Well, Michio Ishida has more from Tokyo.
Residents of Okinawa Prefecture were woken up by the emergency J alert early Wednesday morning when North Korea fired the spy satellite into space. Based on North Korea's warning to Japan ahead of the launch, Okinawa lies in the path that the projectile was expected to travel. But some of the islands were, in fact, not ready to defend themselves should there be danger, as their missile defense systems, or PAC-3, had to be stowed away due to an approaching typhoon.
国連決議に違反し、また台風第2号が本県に接近している状況でのミサイル発射は大変遺憾としか言いようがありません。国からの報告によりますと、本日5月31日午前6時28分ごろ、北朝鮮が人工衛星と称するミサイルを発射いたしました。7時4分に我が国には飛来しないものとみられ、避難の呼びかけの解除の連絡がございました。
Japan's National Security Council met immediately after North Korea's failed launch. The government said it had lodged a complaint with North Korea through its embassy in Beijing for undermining peace and stability in the region and violating the United Nations resolutions. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida with relevant ministers are convinced that North Korea is unlikely to give up with one failed launch. They decided the need to be on standby until June 11th in the event another one flies over or into Japanese territory. Michio Ishida, CNA, Japan.